Hi, I'm Joanne Wright Callender, the author of the Happy Little Garbage Truck picture book and educational system. And these past weeks, we've been looking at the hidden sense of interoception. And yesterday or the day before, we've been kind of getting closer to a point where we can see that there's certain parts of the brain that really focus in on how the interoception can be the interoceptive sensory skills can be boosted or improved. And so I mentioned in a previous talk that improving the insula to me was the key. It's where a child can develop these abilities of sensing, thinking, and interpersonal skills. And it's just the center of all of the things that uh, we're looking at in building interoceptive skills. So it's sort of like, well, I said it was a switch, but in other research that I've done, I found that it's actually more than a switch. Um, they, the research that I've looked at states that it's the insula cortex. It does switch between the different thinking states, between the default network mode of just being to the cognitive executive functioning mode of thinking and planning to the salience network of fight and flight, and also just the skill that we need, the part of the brain that we need to just get us started on goals. So, this insula cortex has this function of being a highly, it's sort of like a traffic police officer, traffic cop. It takes all of our functions of the brain and in a highly interconnected core system, and it allows us to use this information that the body is sensing from the external sources and integrates this to allow us, and specifically, we're talking about children, allows children to focus on and work toward their behavior goals as well as other sensory processing skills. So we are really excited when we can find activities. As a teacher, I speak of myself as a teacher. When we find activities that can help build that particular skill and ability. And two activities seem to appear the most often in my research. And I mentioned one or two of these, maybe both of them in previous talks, but we're going to zero in on them now because as research is sort of like you come back to two thought processes that seem to just stand out in the literature that I've been reading. One is breathing, and I know we've talked about this before, but breathing has a calming effect for a reason. Well, when we take deep belly breaths and slowly release it, it allows a couple of things to happen. First, our brain releases endorphins. And as we've spoken about this before, the endorphins are what gives us a feel good state of mind, and they have a natural calming effect. And the second thing is that our brains receive more oxygen, which is truly important because the brain uses 20% of the body's oxygen just daily. So the more that we can give the brain, the more we can allow the brain to receive oxygen, the more it has the ability to calm our bodies down because we're able to uh, get into the state of mind that, oh, well, when I take deep breaths, it helps me to clear the cobwebs out and just think more clearly. And so, and I see now it's for a reason. Secondly, meditation. That practice has come up as often as breathing because it's usually breathing and meditation that helps sustain and improve the insula. Well, I found that meditation has a really important impact on the insula, and it helps to change the structure of our brains as well as improve its neuroplasticity. Well, meditation and breathing aren't sufficient for someone who's in depression, but it can lessen a child's anxiety. Excuse me, meditating, which can focus on, I think, the processes of what's happening with the body, as we were talking about with our body chart, having the child, identify the different parts of the body. Having done that activity first, I think meditation will have greater impact on the child because you can just zero in on, what's happening with your tummy. Is it rising and falling? Are you taking a deep belly breath? And just listening to your heart. You can have your hand on the heart or on a pulse point. Are the deep breaths allowing your body to relax? And is your heart beating slowly? Things of that nature, that type of conversation can help a child. But I found that there are a lot of different articles on meditation and for children in particular. And on the YouTube, there are quite a few. So, we're going to look a little bit more deeply into this meditative practice in our next conversation. But until then, I believe if practicing with a child, deep breathing can be a really great place to start in building that insula. So, until next time, I'll see you then. Bye bye. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for those of you who have. Alrighty. Bye bye.